2:47 a.m., my phone buzzed, and right then I knew tonight was the night. Security camera alert, corner of the screen. I leaned in, and, sure enough, there she was, Patricia Whitmore, our HOA president, crouched over my root cellar, bolt cutters in hand, flashlight between her teeth, designer purse bouncing on her hip like she was headed to a cocktail party instead of a felony. She clipped that lock like she owned the place, pushed the cellar door open, and stepped inside right into the trap I'd been waiting months to set. See, it didn't start with bolt cutters. It started the way these HOA types always do: violation notices for grass 1/8 of an inch too tall, threats of daily fines, letters about unauthorized structures on land my family's owned since the Roosevelt administration. Patricia made it her mission to set an example with the non-compliant veteran. That'd be me. She even bragged about its aid. She'd make me regret ever digging that cellar. She had no idea what she was getting herself into. Tonight, she'd finally crossed a line she couldn't charm, threaten, or litigate her way out of. And let's just say, what happened down in that root cellar, she's never going to live it down. Be honest, what would you do if your power-tripping HOA president broke into your property at 3 in the morning? Go ahead, tell me where you're watching from. Drop your craziest HOA story below, because mine gets cold as a walk-in freezer. I'm Marcus Sullivan Mac, if your family, friend, or anybody who ever served. I'm 52 now, medically retired Marine, living on VA benefits here in Millbrook Heights, Kentucky. This used to be real farm country, before the developers carved it up and paved over the fields. My 3 acres sit smack in the middle of the last stubborn holdout. When they came waving their checkbooks 15 years ago, I turned them down flat. 2 years back, I built my root cellar by hand, between pain flares, after a back injury ended my construction days. ADA ramp, temperature control, the whole 9 yards. Took me 8 months. Every time I walked down there, smelled that cool earth, the rubber of those mason jar lids, all that musty, hard-earned independence. I remember why I did it. I keep enough food in there to get me through a bad year, let alone a bad month. That's what freedom smells like when you can't count on anyone but yourself. But then Patricia moved in, HOA president 6 years running, real estate shark, always in a white BMW with sold for you plates and a cloud of French perfume that costs more than my truck's worth. Her husband, Iser, was the county commissioner. She drops his title every other sentence, like it's a get-out-of-jail-free card. It worked for her, right up until she picked the wrong Marine. Our first run-in was classic Patricia. Tuesday morning, I'm out checking tomatoes, hear those designer heels clicking like a metronome on my gravel drive. She's already holding a clipboard, staring at my cellar door like it insulted her. Mr. Sullivan, HOA president, we need to discuss your situation. She hands me a violation for unsightly agricultural structure, says it's $50 a day, 30 days to remove. I looked her dead in the eye. Ma'am, this cellar was built before your HOA even existed. That's grandfathered in. She smiled that icy realtor smile. Not according to current community standards, Mr. Sullivan. We're elevating this neighborhood's profile. I'm sure someone with your background understands the importance of proper procedures. The way she said background stung worse than any fine, like my military service was some sort of misdemeanor. From that day on, Patricia made it personal. Week 2 grass violation, 3.1 inches when the limit is 3.0. $75 fine, with photographic evidence. My lawn looked better than the clubhouse, but Patricia found her angle. Next week, mailbox paint unsightly, another $75. Then, garden hose visible from street, $75 more. Within 2 months, I was owed for $125 in fines for things nobody cared about till Patricia needed them. The money? That wasn't even the point. She was running recon, walking my fence with that clipboard, taking photos of the ramp, the vent system, especially my cellar's lock. I knew then Patricia wasn't just looking for violations. She was studying the property for something bigger. April rolled in, brought a new game, official intimidation. County building inspector shows up, cameraman in tow, saying they got a complaint about unpermitted construction. They're taking pictures of everything: cellar, property lines, ramp, you name it. Complaint-driven inspection. The guy says, don't need advance notice. I told them, call me later, we'll schedule. Or bring a warrant. They left in a huff, but not before mapping every inch of my place. That afternoon, I hit the courthouse. I find something interesting: no neighbor inspection request. But there is a development application from Whitmore Holdings LLC for 5 acres, including mine. Patricia wasn't just harassing me for fun. She was scouting my place for a $500,000 development deal. Every fine, every inspection, every visit, just groundwork for the land grab. She kept it at utilities, health, safety. Kentucky Power rolls up. Got a complaint about unpermitted electrical work. Kid comes out, reads from a script, says my buried cable is a hazard. I hand him a folder with every permit from 1998, signed and stamped. He goes pale, says, "Sir, these are more than sufficient." The complaint was bogus, but he was just a pawn. Then it got nastier: anonymous letters in my mailbox. Neighbors are talking. Military service doesn't excuse antisocial behavior. Maybe it's time to move on. Patricia never signed anything, but her fingerprints were all over it. Next up, Mrs. Henderson comes by. Patricia says maybe you're having trouble adjusting, maybe that cellar's unhealthy. She was weaponizing my disability, turning neighborly concern into ammunition. The health department gets called out. Another anonymous complaint. Brenda, the inspector, actually seemed embarrassed. After seeing my setup, she told me, "Mr. Sullivan, this is textbook home food preservation." She showed me the complaint, filed 30 minutes after Patricia's latest request to survey my cellar. Every attack was getting more desperate, more obvious. That's when I started documenting everything. Cameras, logs, timestamps, texts. And I looped in attorney Sarah Finley at the Disabled Veterans Legal Aid Clinic. "Mr. Sullivan, what you're describing is a coordinated harassment campaign. We need to get federal investigators involved." You know what Patricia did next? She tried to turn my neighbors against me at the block barbecue. She's there, circulating, concerned about my behavior changes, hinting I'm unstable, blaming it on the cellar, the service, the trauma. Then she made the mistake of trying to recruit Diesel Rodriguez, my neighbor and fellow Marine. She goes, as Mac's closest friend, "I'm sure you've noticed some changes." Diesel just stares her down. "Max Sullivan is one of the most stable people I know. The problem is you harassing him over a root cellar." Patricia went white as a bedsheet. Diesel knew public records, permit applications, all of it. Her husband's development deal depended on my land. Monday morning, I find my tires / clean cuts, slow leaks. "Probably kids," the deputy says, handing me a case number. Next day, I get a call from the Vesumiones, reported behavioral issues affecting my ability to maintain housing. The report came through the county commissioner's office. Patricia weaponized Ree's position to try and strip my benefits. But that's where she messed up. She left a federal paper trail. Targeting a disabled vet's benefits? That's a crime. I got it all on record for Sarah, the attorney. She tells me, "With this, we can bring federal charges. But you need to be ready. People this desperate do desperate things." A week later, I overhear Patricia at the county offices, talking to some corporate suit. Final approval depends on clearing the Sullivan property. The Cellar Foundation interferes with the drainage easement, the suit says. Our investors have committed $12 million. If you can't deliver clear title, we'll explore other options. Patricia's reply? My husband's position provides certain advantages. If legal challenges don't work, there are always accidents. Chills ran down my spine. She was planning accidents, gas leaks, foundation collapses, maybe worse. But I had her on tape, clear as day: conspiracy, bribery, fraud, insurance scams. Gold for prosecutors. I called Sarah. What if she breaks in herself? That's breaking and entering, criminal mischief. And if she targets your disability accommodations? Federal charges. Be ready for anything, Mac. That's when I set my trap. Diesel helped me upgrade the security. Night vision cameras, parabolic mics, motion sensors, Encrypted deadbolt stuff you see in spy movies. The real magic? The lock looked normal, but only opened from the outside by my phone. I even called Patricia, played dumb. Maybe we could work out Adelphir's stuff in that cellar my grandfather left behind. No one's ever really explored it, she bit. The greed in her voice almost made me laugh. Let's arrange a survey soon. The night of, she circled my block for hours, casing the place. 2:15 a.m., she snipped my decoy padlock, stepped inside. She had no clue the Real lock engaged as soon as the door shut. I watched her rummage through my mason jars, muttering about hidden treasure. When she finally tried to leave, deadbolt wouldn't budge. She pounded the door, yelled for me, tried to bluff, bargain, threaten. I sat in my kitchen, sipping coffee, letting her stew. For minutes in, she realized she was trapped. This is kidnapping. Let me out, she shrieked. I just finished my cup and called the police. Told the dispatcher I contained a burglar in my cellar, safe and sound, waiting for officers. When the state police arrived, I played them the footage, every angle, every word. Patricia came out looking like she'd spent the night in a pickle barrel, hair wild, perfume drowned out by onions and beets, makeup a wreck, tears streaking her cheeks. She screamed for them to arrest me, but the bolt cutters, the broken lock, the video, and the confession tapes made it clear she was done. 6 weeks later, Patricia pled guilty, 18 months in prison, 5 years probation, $25,000 restitution. Lost her real estate license, her business, her marriage. The HOA voted in Maria Santos, who governs by consensus, not by clipboard. The neighborhood relaxed. My root cellar became a local landmark. Kids come for tours. Neighbors drop off garden surplus. We even host canning workshops now. The best part? Patricia spent 6 months trying to prove I was just another broken-down vet who'd give up his independence for a quick check. She learned the hard way. Marines don't just hold the line, we build new ones. My cellar still smells like preserved peppers and self-reliance. Hers probably smells like bleach and regret. So here's my advice. If you're up against a neighborhood tyrant, document everything. Know your rights, build your alliances, and don't back down. Bullies always show their true selves eventually. Got a story like this? Drop it below. Let's help each other out. No one has to face these HOA dictators alone. And hey, if you want more stories where the little guy wins, hit subscribe. Because sometimes justice comes ice cold and with a side of pickled beets.